Hi everyone, my name is Sitaram Gavas, and yet another day we are back with one of the best projects in the market for especially the elite people who are looking for their end use home or for the investors who are looking for an investment opportunity on the Sheikh Zayed Road. Today I am in the sales office of Ellington Properties, one of the most loved boutique developers of Dubai, and this is my first video with them where I want to show you what exactly Ellington Properties as a developer is doing in Dubai, what sort of property they are coming up right now, what is the location, what are the parameters as an investor and end user they can look at, and the floor plans, every single detail. Why this is very important for all the investors and end users, because this is one of the last opportunities on the Sheikh Zayed Road nearby to the area of Shale Tea, Marina, Palm Jumeirah, where someone can invest into a freehold property with one of the most luxurious views and prominent location. Make sure you're staying on the video to the last moment so that you can receive each and every detail. Thank you so much.
Hey there, in this episode we decided to show you the quality and the delivery of Ellington. When you see the doors, they are nicely cladded. It's a very sturdy door, provides you complete privacy, complete noise cancellation once you're chilling in your apartment. When you go on your left side, you enter the powder room. The powder room here, it is again fully equipped with all the washroom fittings. I can also show you the wardrobes and the quality of furniture that they provide. This is exclusively your shoes storage space. When I look at on the other hand, you see that it's my laundry area. Can you imagine, guys? Such a concealed place where you keep your laundry, where you keep things for storage, and nobody even realizes that what's there concealed behind these two beautiful wardrobes. So that's my powder room. Now I'm entering towards the living room. I can see that there's a nice marble plated kitchen counter. Now this is my island kitchen kind of layout wherein I can place my chairs and I can easily have my breakfast in the morning. So I don't need a dining table. Recently in houses of Dubai, we have realized the women especially, they request and they want an island kind of kitchen layout so that if there's a party going on in the living room, the women of the house also feels included. Okay, now the kitchens with Ellington, of course, they're always fully fitted. The dishwasher, the furniture, everything is provided through the developer. The refrigerator is concealed, and just look at the nice cake which they have placed here. So the oven, the microwave, everything, it has its own storage space. I don't have to clog it anywhere on my kitchen counter or in my kitchen storage. Then we have the oven, we have the hob. There's a special storage for all my spices for Indians especially. So there is no crisis for storage in Ellington's kitchens. Now when I enter in the lobby, I see the beautiful sceneries. I can see the wallpaper which is already provided. The wardrobes, enough storage again for both husband and wife, for the family. Then on my right hand side, I have a beautifully executed washroom. So this is the washroom that they have provided. Again, there's ample of storage. I can keep my towels, my tissues, my toiletries everywhere. Then can you imagine, this is again some storage for his and her. These are two different wash basins that they have provided here. Again, just look at the storage. Then when I come on my left hand side, there's a secluded area for bathing with a door. Again, so many developers nowadays, they don't provide such privacy in the bath area. So when I enter the master bedroom, you can see that there's a 3.4 to 3.6 meters of ceiling height. This provides space to the room. This provides enough space for the sunlight to enter, and I actually don't need any artificial lighting here because I have my floor to ceiling height windows. So the only reason why investors ask us if Ellington is coming up with new projects is only because they want to have something exclusive, something boutique, and something that assures them of the quality, not just as investors but also as end users. So when I talk about Ellington, I know that I am actually telling my client about quality, about luxury, about elegance, and something which is really elite. In their communities, whatever they show in the brochures, they deliver exactly like that. So that makes them a very credible developer in this Dubai real estate market, wherein every day new developers are popping up like mushrooms after rain.
Let's understand who is Ellington Developer and what are they doing in the market since how long they're here. When we speak about Ellington Properties, the owner is Mr. Robert D. Booth. He is the current CEO of Ellington Properties, and if I have to tell you about who was he was the CEO of MR till 2013. He was the main person who was behind the leading developments Ima Properties has done previously before 2013, that is Emirates Hills, Downtown, Marina, all these prominent locations where we have the communities of MR which are still in even today's date after 20 years are one of the highest performing communities. Now that same guy has started the property development firm called as Ellington Properties, and why they are special? Because they are one of the most boutique developers in Dubai. They come up with very fascinating launches across the locations of Dubai. They started in JVC where they have approximately 16 towers. And when I speak about the location of JVC, when you know that JVC has huge amount of supply, but even within the chaos of JVC, all the buildings of Ellington Properties are still acquiring highest capital appreciation along with highest rental yields. One bedroom apartment of Ellington Properties, that too in the location of JVC, is trading at 90,000 to 110,000 dirhams per year. That is the highest rental yield for a developer which is at any location considered JVC. Now speaking about the locations where Ellington Properties is doing projects right now, one of the most prominent location where they have projects is basically Maidan Horizon. Now Maidan Horizon is basically next to Soba Heartland 1, Hapa Heartland 2. It has the view towards Rasulkhur Wildlife Sanctuary. It's a community by Nakhil where they're coming up with a lagoon, and right now Ellington has more than 5 to 6 projects in the same location. In the last month we also saw a launch by Ellington Properties where they came upon Port Rashid. Now when we speak about Port Rashid is a primary community by Emaar Development called as Rashid Watson Marina, and in that particular location one of the most prime plots was taken by Ellington Properties where they launched Portside Square, a community of 4 buildings among which 3 buildings were residentials and 1 building was commercial, one of the most elite communities and a cluster of buildings within the Rashid Watson Marina. And speaking about the next best location, which is Dubai South, in which they came up with a project called as Ellington's Windsor House Phase 1 and Phase 2, a community of 4 buildings in Dubai South residential district and one of their most affordable houses which they have launched till date. Why am I mentioning all these locations to you? So that you can understand from one location to the last location, Ellington has made many developments across the years, but their key point is the quality, the perfection and attention to detail they have given to every single project. Whenever you enter into any lobby of Ellington Properties, you can understand the smell, you can get that smell, and that smell gives you a feeling of royalty whenever you enter into any Ellington building. So that's why one of my favorite developers where I can always assure my clients that you will always receive highest of capital appreciation along with the greatest of rental yields is Ellington Properties. They are also present in the Ras Al Khaimah where they have done multiple developments, Pleda Sol, Costa Mare, there are recent launch of Soto Grande, and all these developments came up at the lowest per square feet rate possible. And now they are coming up with a new location which is called as JLT. In Uptown JLT, they are launching a community called as Altiera Views, a combination of 4 buildings, and we are going to discuss about those 4 buildings today in this video. So make sure you're staying tuned last time. Altiera Views by Ellington Properties is their flagship project coming up in Uptown JLT. Now understanding the location of Uptown JLT is very crucial because this is not any other location of the way. This is one of the most elite locations of the way because in the same area you have DAMCC, then you have JLT where most of the Indian nationalities are residing. Then next to that you have the Sheikh Zayed Road. So this property is residing on the Sheikh Zayed Road just a couple of minutes away. It also has 2 metro stations in the same line, which is DMCC metro station and Soba Realty metro station. So it also has an access towards the metro station, having all the commercial office spaces in the nearby vicinity along with the DMCC tower, and the views of Altiera Views is basically towards the serene lifestyle of Jumeirah Islands, Emirates Hills and Jumeirah Park. So there is no obstruction of views from the particular building. Next to that, on the other side of Sheikh Zayed Road, we have the Marina where every tourist love to go anytime they come to Dubai. Marina, JBR, Blue Waters Island, and the next coastal line which comes up is the Palm Jumeirah. So this location, as I mentioned before, is one of the most elite locations chosen by high net worth individuals for their residence. Why? Because you have very low density of apartments coming up over here. Exactly when we enter towards this site, we have basically 4 towers by Ellington Properties called as Altiera Views, which are Altiera Towers 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 months back, they also launched the first project called as Altiera Heights. This was their first project which came 6 months back, got sold out on the same day. This is one of the tallest towers among the community and it's an independent tower which has their own amenities on the podium. Whereas when I speak about these four towers, they have shared amenities on the podium, also with a clubhouse which is separate from the buildings. Now this is a new thing which they started recently, because in the previous launch of Portside Square, they also had a clubhouse which was separated from the main site. So as I told you, Ellington Properties mostly do boutique developments. They don't come up with bigger communities, but whatever boutique developments they have done in across the areas of the way, or have always yielded in the highest terms of rental yield. Why? Because the quality and the density of apartments they have in their towers. Be it a tower which is 15 floors high, or a be it a tower which is 30 to 40 floors high, you will always find the least amount of units in any of their towers, and that is why it is also essential for the investors who are investing in Ellington Properties, because you don't have competition with other buyers. Here, buying a floor means buying 9 units together or 8 units maximum together. That means your total value of floor becomes lesser. You get to be in one of the elite properties on the location where we will always have highest of the highest capital appreciation. Now, coming back to the main point, whenever we look at apartments in the market, as we know, in the next 2 to 3 years, a large amount of supply is coming up. In between all of these apartments coming up, we also need to understand the developers, their background, and the locations where they're coming up. When I speak about Ellington Properties, why did I take you through the entire stroll of all their properties they have come up till now? Because when you look at the locations of their properties, they're always in a key locations where you will always have long-term capital appreciation coming up. Now, about this particular project, the starting price is around 2.2 million dirhams with a payment plan which is spread across next 4 years, which is 70-30, with a 20% down payment, and the remaining payments are basically construction linked. That means as and when the construction of the property will start and it goes beyond, you will have to make payments against the property. You are not timely linked to the property, and this is more safer for the investors, because when you see the growth of your property coming up in terms of construction timeline, you pay your amount. Your equity goes very swiftly from your pocket, and if you wanted to switch in between, you know the secondary buyer can practically see the construction happening and he can actually pay to you. Whereas in most of the developers today in the market, they go with time linked payment plan, and that is why flipping the property always makes it bit difficult for them, because there is no construction happening. People are waiting for 1 year, 1.5 years just to have the construction get started, and that construction phase is also 4 years long. Whereas here, when you look at the property timeline and the construction deadline, it is always safer to understand it will go as and when you make the payments. Thirdly, when we speak about Altera Views, as I told you, it is nearby to JLT, it is nearby to Marina, it is nearby to DM City, and the other side, we also have Tecom Burshide, where we have Dubai Internet City and Dubai Media City. When I look at this location, you have multiple commercial office spaces. That means, having such a low density community with very less number of apartments, they can be leased out by the high net worth individuals who are basically the CEOs, the managing directors, the directors of these companies, who can basically rent here or stay here. And that is how your future proposition comes up, that who will rent these high priced units in the future. To summarize my entire discussion, I can tell you one simple thing, that investing in Ellington will never go wrong. In Dubai, whenever you invest with IMA, you know you're investing in the high skill communities, large communities, which takes around time of 6 to 8 years to completely finish, and that is how also people make long-term returns against the communities. But when I speak about Ellington, you can start making returns once the community is ready, once the construction is done, which is basically 3 to 4 years of timeline, and you can start getting the rentals which are at the highest of the peak of the market compared to any other apartments in the nearby vicinity. The apartment rental for Ellington will always be higher, and that has been proven since last many years. And it is very easy for you guys to invest in Ellington Properties because the process is very smooth. You can make payments in any mode of transaction you prefer to. You can invest in Ellington Properties from any other location. Just to get in touch with us is the only key to understand the further discussions on this. So get in touch with us. I'll take you through the entire briefing of the project, what exactly this project holds in terms of the inventory which is available, what are the sizes, price in the market, and how exactly you can make more of it once you invest it here. So let's get in touch as soon as possible. We are here, and make sure if you like our videos, do subscribe to us. See you in the next video.